This present president in his previous term said that the greatest level of dishonor to our democracy in this nation was Colin Kaepernick. That when he took a knee, everybody should just walk out of the stand. Going back in time, what would you have told Colin to do?
Take 2 knees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, stand on business.
Yeah.
I think we can't be hypocritical, America.
Yeah.
This is the land of the free.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will repeat, this is the land of the free. How you feel, I may not agree with it,
Right.
but that's how you feel.
Yes.
Your experiences may not be my experiences, but it's the land of the free.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what Colin Kaepernick did was once again an example of we need to bring awareness to certain situations, social issues, you know, regional issues, local issues, national issues that we've been fighting since the beginning of time.
Right.
And that does not negate the fact that what happened has, you know, brought awareness, and not all has brought change. And I think there's a lot of things that the president and presidents have said that we may not as a whole agree with.
Right.
But at the end of the day, what's in our Constitution says this is the land of the free. So you have to respectfully, you know, whether you want to agree or disagree, what anybody, you know, may say or do.
Well, the most racial implications of the 21st century, previously it was the integration of baseball, the disintegration of the Negro Leagues.
Mm-hmm.
But the NFL now has become the epicenter of what is taking place. The halftime at the Super Bowl, I'm not dealing with K. Dot or Drake.
Yeah.
What I do want to deal with is that while Kendrick was out performing, they held up a Palestinian flag. And the NFL told the cameras, don't show it.
Mm.
In this land of the free and the freedom of expression,
right,
you can lose your whole career for taking a knee. You cannot get drafted or drafted late because of confidence. You can be blackballed out of the camera for waving a flag. Is the owner's box reflective of the last bastion of racism in America?
I said, that's something that I can't really accurately speak to. But what I will say is freedom of speech is not free.
Yeah.
The way you act can promote the land of the free, but it comes with
a price.
A price.
Yeah.
And every cause has an effect.
Right.
And I just heard this recently from Charlemagne, is extremely a wizard when it comes to media, and his success is you know, paramount to really the culture as a whole. He said, you know, freedom of speech is not free. Everything you say has a cost.
Yes.
And you just have to be mindful of certain things. And no matter how much of a boss that you say that you are, how much of a individual that you promote, however unique that you deem you to be, you have to answer to somebody.
Yeah.
We all answer to somebody respectfully.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how big of a boss you are, well, the biggest bosses answer to the brands, the sponsors. You know, the children answer to the parents.
Yeah.
You know, if you're religious, you're answer to a higher power. No matter what it is, you just can't just be out here as a, you know, living willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Not expecting any repercussions to come with your actions. So, you know, the narrative is, you know, a dictatorship in some cases, but the reality of it is, you know what you're getting yourself into. And how you know, in my living circumstances growing up, I didn't have a lot of options. I never saw a doctor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I never saw a lawyer. I never saw that looked like me.
Yes.
Only thing I saw was drugs, you know, from the people who I went to school with. The only thing that I saw as a beacon of hope was Michael Vick. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in Atlanta, man, that was my hero. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
He looked like me. I can
Right.
do it too.
Right.
So an athlete was an option for me. And I think a lot of kids need to see that. I'm blown away by the success of, centers and Ryan Coogler and what Michael B. Jordan has done. Now he's given opportunity to people to dream and say, hey, he looks like me. He's doing box office numbers. Right. And I think that should be the narrative more so than saying what we can't do. I think we need more of us to realize like, yo, it's not being the first, it's being the person to inspire the next.
Yeah, but I don't think when Colin took that knee, he knew that would be the end of his career.
Well, or did he? You know what I'm saying? Because one of his good, friends who was actually taking a knee with him in San Fran was Eric Reed, a good brother, man. And we got him in Carolina. And when you really peel back what the media or what the world may identify an individual in, and you really take the time to understand certain things, it's like, well, dang, well, I need to start, having these peaceful protests myself because it still was peaceful. Now it shook up a lot of bushes and a lot of things was offended, and rightfully so, but it still was peaceful. Now there's other protests that can't necessarily echo those same words. And what came from it? Some would say we still had police brutality. We still had, situations that take place. DEI has now been suspended until further notice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are we really standing for? I think some of us do need improvements on our movements.
Yeah, no, a whole lot of it.
So it's like we go in with a plan, but not a plan to really actually execute it. So.
Michael Jordan's last season in Chicago, a guy out of Carolina, was running for senator and would have been the first black senator to be elected in the South post-Reconstruction. This is pre-Raphael Warnock. And the campaign went to Michael. DNC went to Michael. Man, if you endorse this guy in Carolina, he's going to win. You the favorite son of the soil. And Nike said to Michael Jordan, Republicans buy Nikes too. You can't get involved in it. Stay out of it.
Mm.
How much of a social responsibility do you think public athletes have?
Oh, a lot. But you got to understand too.
Yeah.
Just in that same situation, you have to answer to somebody.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
No matter who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going through that personally right now. And it's not a bad thing. It's like, yo, I can see the light. You know what I'm saying? Not to get out where you just, it's one of those things that you educate yourself to be different, but not a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing about it, you always want to use other people's money to fund your idea.
Yeah.
In anything, in real estate, in business, in activation, in anything. But when a brand or anybody asks the question, do we really want to align with Dr. Bryant? Do we really want to align with the moral compass that he's doing and not boxing out a certain type of individual, race, gender, or anything? And when you think about what Michael Jordan in that situation had to go through, I think it's easy for somebody, it's easy for somebody to not have had that situation to be able to say, man, I would have stood for my people.
Right.
But they're not identifying what Michael Jordan has done for his people. And everything that every time somebody does something, it's not always promoted, nor should it be publicized.
No, I agree with that. But I think greatness comes with inconvenience. And the controversy that comes with the call to greatness also comes with amazing risk.